inverted pyramid style of news writing. This is the basic style. When someone will write the news, first he should practice in this way. The style is inverted pyramid. Later he may change his style, that is different thing. But as a beginner, a journalist, he must know this style. And actually when a news is written in this style, then all the information can be provided within few words. Generally, in case of news, maximum 300 to 400 words. So, and as a journalist, in case of news, main thing is that to give the answer of 5 W's and A's. And these basic things we should be remember, and how to follow these things while writing the news by inverted pyramid style. Today, I will discuss this point. The inverted pyramid is a metaphor used by journalists and other writers to illustrate how information should be prioritized and structured in a text. For example, for a particular event, you have collected so many information, but you need to write one news, and it is not possible to cover all the information you have already collected. So, first point is that which is the most important information. We should prioritize those things, and based on the highest to lowest, least important. From most important to least important, all the information will be systematically arranged. And after that, the most important point is placed at the beginning, but that beginning is start with conclusion. That means when a person will read the news, after reading the news, what is the basic information he will get? That should be presented at the first sentence. Actually, in case of news, there is no conclusion, but overall, after reading the news, what information the reader get from that news, that should be reflected properly. And that first line is the most important line in case of news writing. The style is called as inverted pyramid because here most important information provided at the beginning. Then more information which is important but not important to this, that will be included. And least important, that means if without giving this information, a reader will be satisfied with the news. This is not necessary for all the readers. But main point is this portion. First to 1-2 sentence. In this sentence, we have to give the answer of who, what, where, when, why, and how. And how you write these things, that is also important. With experience, you can change the lead style, but at first, simply we should give the answer of these 5 W's and A's. After that, if the reader wants to know more about these things, those things should be arranged in the body part, and there each point will be described in short paragraph. And finally, least important point that will be mentioned here. If the reader will not read it, or if the editor delete these things, then also there is no problem about the news. The news worthiness will be remain same. Here you see this is a headline news related to agriculture. And here how he mentioned this point. In the first cabinet meeting, the government on Friday decided to extend the PM Kisan scheme to all 14.5 crore farmers in the country, costing rupees 87,000 crore a year, and also announced over rupees 10,000 crore pension scheme for 5 crore farmers. All the things are mentioned here, 5 W and A. If you read the next paragraph, you will get explanation of one point, then another point. And here you will not get those information which is not given here. And each paragraph, only one issue is mentioned, and that is again in the same way, most important to least important. In this way, within 2-3 sentences, it is written. Then next important point, next important, like that. And if the editor delete this thing due to space, then also reader will get the actual information. So these are least important and called as tail. How to write the inverted pyramid style? It is the style front load your article. That means front loaded. At the first part, it is heavy. Heavy means most important things are at the first place. So it is front loaded. If you read the first paragraph, that is sufficient for you. And at the bottom or end of the news, only least important thing. So from importance point of news, always writing the news in front loaded manner, means most important things should be placed in the first 2-3 sentences. Overall summary you should make, and then within 1 or 2. Actually, in case of lead sentence, in the first sentence, in case of news, you should provide all those answers. Hardly it will go to second sentence, but always it is important that entire information is summarized in the first sentence, and reader will read the next one only after reading the first sentence. And the newspaper who are following the principles of journalism, they still maintain this style, but due to competition nowadays, different types of writings are there. You may not get the main sentence or lead sentence at the first, but you may get some different type of lead. With experience, you can write this type of thing, but as beginner, this is most important to start with finish. How to do this thing? Limit each paragraph to one main point or idea. That means in one paragraph, only one idea or one point should be described. Start each paragraph with the main point or conclusion in the first 1 or 2 sentences. Again, within the paragraph, again it should be inverted pyramid. Most important point should be come at the first paragraph, first sentence of the paragraph, and that paragraph only deal with one issue. Then, which is most important? In the next paragraph, second most important point will be discussed in the same manner. Within that issue, which is the most important, that should become first, and in this way, the paragraph should be completed within 3 to 4 sentences, not more than this. And in this way, when you will complete the entire news within 300 to 400 words, you can write the news, where at the top first sentence is the most important sentence. And in each paragraph, first sentence of each paragraph is most important sentence for the issue related with that particular paragraph. Start headings with significant words. Though the journalist or reporter mention a heading, most of the cases the editor sends the heading. And main thing is that in the heading, we have to attract the reader towards the news, and that too with few words, hardly with 3-4 words. By this word, when he will read, he will attract. So selection of words in the headline is very, very important, and it will attract all the things. And suppose a 400 words news, when reader will read, first he will read the headline or heading, and if he found interesting something in those 4 or 5 words of the heading, then only he will read the entire news. Otherwise, he will not read it. So selection of that word is very, very important things, and it is a skill activity. And newspaper wise, they have maintained some rules also, some style also, and based on this, they publish the heading just like this. You first read the news. When you will get everything, then you mark this. That means it is in inverted pyramid. This is the lead line. And in the same way, you mark this thing. It is lead, and this portion, this is the body, and most least portion, generally last 1 or 2 paragraphs, that will be the tail, least important.